Well, we're gonna get a transmission fired up for you. The Renegade teacher is back for another tale of insanity among the stars.
Folks, welcome back and welcome aboard. I am excited to have you with me tonight. I want to dive right into what I am calling the episode. I'm calling it This Has to Be a Joke. And the purpose of this episode is just to tell you about some of the most infuriating, mind-blowing instances and examples of some of the things that I experienced during my last year as an educator. I taught high school for 7 years, and that 7th year, I moved to a new school, to a new state, and these were some of the things that just left me absolutely flabbergasted and just beyond frustration. And I'll start with the district website. And I know that many of the districts in my state use the same template style for all of their schools. They connect them through the main district website. But I'll speak here just specifically about the school website for the school that I was at. And as I try right now on a good internet connection to pull it up, it is exemplifying why this made the list. This website is this type of website is extremely burdensome for the internet connection that it's being accessed with, and it's just this absolute hellhole of links that appear when you click on. There's only 3 buttons on the website, and when you click on menu, you are greeted with folks. I even counted them. There are 61 different. There are 61 different links that pop up. Not joking. They do divide them into links about our school. Another category is for teachers. We have athletics, for students, and for parents. And all of these 61 links are scattered into their categories. And the most infuriating part about this website is when you access it from a different computer, or if you access it in any other way than the way you're currently looking at it, the order of the categories changes. I'm not joking. So you'll find yourself browsing through the parents' links looking for something that should be in the teacher's links, because that's where you always scroll for it if you look for it from the same computer most of the time. But there's just this insane level of just overdoing it. This type of website taxes the internet connection too much, and it made the list because it's so ridiculous how it works, and how it fails to meet the needs of the people that are accessing it all the time. And it's just a nauseating example of why education is falling apart. This all needs to be simplified. And that leads me to the discussion of the speed of my teacher laptop at this new school. I found myself, folks, being assigned a laptop and a dock connection for the smart board in my classroom. And I kid you not, the laptop looked like it was perhaps one generation beyond the old laptops that had like the rubberized mouse button. The folks, I'm not joking. It was probably the laptops that came out right after that. To say this computer was slow would have been the understatement of the century. I had it worked on, I had it looked at, I put in for the correct people to do what they needed to do to make this laptop work for my needs. It was a constant battle the entire year that we were able to complete. And that leads me to the dock connection, the laptop and dock connection, folks, on that I was dealing with. I kid you not. First off, if you know how a dock works on one of these laptops, you basically stab the laptop with the dock whenever you plug it into it, and then whatever was showing on your screen will temporarily disappear. And then it will reappear, and then it will also appear on the smart board if it's turned on, if the projector is turned on. And so this connection is quite a data heavy stream to be putting through the dock, and whenever I would find myself typing an email or doing just any random task on my laptop, there would be these excuse me, there would be these dock connection storms where just at random the dock would temporarily lose connection with the laptop and cause it to black out on me, and there would be this ding that would happen. I would get a notification through the speakers that the connection had been broken, and then no sooner, I should say, than it loses the connection, it would regain the connection, and I would get another ding, and this would happen, folks, over and over until I found myself being borderline violent with the dock and laptop, just simply trying to get it to stop so that I could proceed with whatever I needed to be getting done. It was just absolutely just beyond anything that could possibly be real. This has to be a joke. I look at these laptop carts and these decked out laptops that students are given, and I, their teacher, am given some Flintstones level technology to teach the class. It's just everything is backwards. I cannot take it. But I'll move on, because if you have in the school need for technology support, they have this insane work order support ticket system where you go and report the problem you're having, and I wouldn't be against that. Because there are a lot of teachers in the school, and there are limited technology staffing. Don't get me wrong, I understand that. But here's where I put something on the list for tonight. This has to be a joke, right? Well, I performed the support tickets at certain times. I put them in. I took the time to go through this ridiculous password and username system to put in my problems. And when does the technology support show up? Could it be between classes? Could it be at the end of a day? Perhaps at the beginning of a day, or something like that? No, they show up whenever they damn well please and interrupt class, throwing the lesson into turmoil, and there's just no rhyme or reason to when the people show up, and not only that, I'll take it another level into insanity for you. I had people like groundskeeping type, maintenance type people just randomly walk in my room, and excuse themselves for needing to remove ceiling tiles, run wire, or check connections. Just this unbelievable zero respect type stuff. I cannot believe that it's real. It has to be a joke. The teachers are not treated like the professionals that they are, and it absolutely makes me sick. Folks, I'll move on because I don't want this one to be super long. But the next topic of discussion is that of motion sensor lights. This is a two-parter because we had in my building motion sensor lights in the teachers' lounge, and if you saw the layout of the room and where the sensor was at, folks, this one could take me beyond. I may lose control here, but the room was basically an L shape, and the sensor does not cover the bottom half of the L, and you would find yourself, I would find myself walking into the teacher's lounge, and suddenly, with no external windows, no external lighting, being an interior room, I was cast into the hell of darkness, and wondering whether or not there would be lights that would kick on, because if you walked just far enough into the darkness, risking your health to a trip hazard, they would sometimes kick on. However, if the person that came in the other door on the top half of the L had turned the light switch off, you would now find yourself in the middle of the room, with the door you came in having automatically shut, and now you are at the mercy of whether or not the person that used the other door indeed just turned the switch off, or if they left it on and the motion sensor turned the lights off after a given amount of time. I can't do it, folks. I cannot take it. It's just absolutely ridiculous nonsense. The other one, I said this was a two-parter because that one dealt with the teacher's lounge. But I'll tell you what, folks, when I boiled over, when I really truly boiled over, was when I was sitting in my classroom, alone between classes, planning or lunchtime, somewhere in there, and I was typing an email, or talking to a parent or something like that, and the lights in my room turn off, and I am sitting in basically darkness, and had no idea why. And I thought, perhaps power failure. I noticed that nothing else that was needing power turned off, so I ruled that out. And I realized, as I looked across the room, that I was looking at another motion sensor. My classroom had motion sensor lights. I'm not joking. Folks, and the kicker, the part that just blows my baloney out the blowhole of the blue whale, is that the motion sensor did not cover the area of the teacher's desk. Folks, you cannot tell me that this is real. This cannot happen. The motion detector just simply did not reach the area of the room where the person whose room it is sits and conducts their work. And I would find myself launching post-it notepads across the room to trigger the damn lights so that I could continue doing my work. And this ridiculous nonsense would culminate at the end of my planning in me having to pick up 6 or 8 objects that I had launched across the room just to keep the lights on while I was performing tasks at my desk. Absolutely beyond anything I ever dreamed possible. It was honestly enough. It was honestly enough to make me want to hijack an airplane to Nova Scotia. But instead of hurting anyone or committing any violent acts, I would instead force the plane to fly to its intended destination. But instead of the standard pretzels and beverage food service, folks, I would proceed to unpack and force the flight attendant staff to serve the entire airplane a 3-course meal comprised of an appetizer, a gourmet entree, as well as a delectable dessert, just to prove the point that motion sensor lighting should only be used when the sensor can sense every damn thing it needs to, in order to appropriately function both safely and efficiently, as to minimize both electric bills as well as hospital bills and the psychiatric treatment for the teacher subjected to this inappropriate use of motion sensor lighting. Truthfully, folks, I never thought I would reach something in my life where I was experiencing this level of Twilight Zone ridiculousness. I never dreamed that I could reach these pits of insanity, and I'm glad I hit the ejection button. I'm glad I am taking a different path, but I'm excited to remain in the battle for public education. But I'll tell you what, tonight was a fun one. I need to get my blood pressure in check. I need to put on the cuff and reel this one in. I want to remind you the show is going to continue coming out on every Sunday, and I'm looking at a midweek release on Wednesdays. The show is on iTunes. Please show some support. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and follow me on iTunes. Leave a review there if you can, and I will catch you for the next one. For tonight, this is Renegade Teacher signing off.